Hello, Magic the Gathering players. This is Antesh Ordo. Today I'm going to be doing the blue and the black. Is it black? Yeah, the black of the released or the early leaks. I'm not going to be reading all of them. I'm just going to skim through most of them just to save some time because there's a lot to talk about. And I know in a few videos that will be uploaded before this one, I did mention I was just going to show what cards I like. And I'm still kind of getting used to them, especially since I'm so used to looking at Magic cards with pictures. So I will obviously be covering more of them down the road. So I might cover a little bit more than just blue and black, but let's get started. So we do got a Trickster for Merfolk, enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. It loses all abilities until end of turn. So it kind of shuts down a creature. It's kind of cool. It's definitely Merfolk friendly. Karn's Temporal Sundering. That's interesting. 6 mana. Target player takes an extra turn. Of course, it's a legendary sorcery. I kind of like these legendaries and the sagas. They did something totally different. Of course, there's sorceries, not instants. I'm sure down the road they'll eventually make legendary instants. Unless there's already some in here and I missed them. But hey. But yeah. Take an extra turn. Return up to 1 target creature. Or target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And then you exile this. So you bounce a card. And you get an extra turn. That's not bad. But you have to have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play. The Antiquities War. That was kind of cool. So I'm gonna leave, because a lot of these I'm gonna recover anyways. So I'm not gonna really cover too much of the sagas, because I do want to cover the sagas, especially when they're in their full art, the cool look of the art that they have. So blink of an eye, bounces, and if you kick it, you draw a card. I think they have another card like this. Actually, I think oh yeah, it's Into the Royal. It's just a new Into the Royal. I liked Into the Royal. That was a fun card to play around in Zendikar block. So, yeah, I'm glad they're bringing that back. Okay, hopefully. So Tetsuko Umezawa's Fugitive, 2 mana, 1/3, and creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Now, what's interesting about this Umezawa is there was an Umezawa on Kamigawa, and apparently at the end of the trilogy of books that they wrote for Kamigawa, Toshiro, it's Toshiro Umezawa got, in a sense, it was through the power of Myojin, the Knight's Reach, I think it is. Kind of a different version of like planeswalking, but she ported him to another plane, which ended up being why plane where Nico Bolas was, and that's why there's an older Umezawa card. So that's always interesting, and so now there's even a further down Umezawa as well. So I always thought it was kind of cool that they're continuing on with the Umezawa family line. So yeah, and honestly, I'm sure they have like a Umezawa clan on Dominaria. So 3 mana, 1/4 for a Tempest Djinn. Gets +1/+0 for each basic island you control. I kind of like that. You know, it's a 3 mana 0/4 flyer right off the bat, and then it gets bigger. So Mono Blue Devotion. This is gonna be a definite good Mono Blue Devotion 3 mana drop. So you play this into the Master of Waves, I think it is. That deals with the Mono Blue Devotion. It's pretty good. And also in Modern, it is not Bolt, or it's Bolt doesn't target it. Unfortunately, Push and Path do, but Lightning Bolt does not hurt this, which makes it could be some sort of aggro blue deck down the road with that. Especially since, you know, you're doing mono blue, you're gonna have tons of islands. It's gonna get big quick. Curator's Ward, kind of a cool enchantment. If enchanted permanent leaves the battlefield, it's historic, draws a card. So it's just a way to protect. Precognition field. You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast the top card if it's instant sorcery, and then you exile the top card. It's kind of a cool little thing. I know some people say it might actually be a viable 1 or 2 of for Lantern control. We'll see. I guess I'm turning this into a read, just show off the cards. Naban, Dean of Iteration, 2 mana, 1/2. I like this. If a wizard entering the battlefield under your control causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it doubles it, basically. It triggers it a second time. So you play this, then turn 3, use Snapcaster into a Serum Visions. Boom! Right then and there, Serum Visions is going to trigger, your Snapcaster's ability is going to trigger twice. You're going to get Serum Visions and maybe something else, which is kind of cool. I will say Mono Blue Wizards would love this card as a commander. So I actually like that card. I'm going to like, Wizards. I'm kind of iffy on Wizards in the past, but now that they're starting to get into Wizards more, and this set looks like it's going to be definitely more tribal based, I'm game with that. Like Niru, Maya Master Wizard, 4 mana, 3/3. It's Wizard Lord, and then enters the battlefield. Copy target extra sorcery you control. You may choose new targets. So if you play a bounce, or you play Cryptic Command, you get to copy it twice. Yeah. So honestly, I like this card too. This is another good viable commander for sure. They have Wizards Retort, so they're really pushing towards Wizards. And also in this set, Wizards are also linking towards being blue-red, which they kind of make sense having blue-red. They also have Deep Freeze, an enchantment that makes a creature based power and toughness 0/4 defender, loses all abilities as a blue wall, so you just turn it into a wall, which is kind of cool. It's an interesting removal, I'll give it that much. And it does shut down the creature's ability, so it just turns it into a wall. Of course, I don't know, it's an enchantment. It's limited playable, maybe pauper playable, but that's it. Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. Enters the battlefield, exile target historic permanent you control. If you do, return it to the battlefield. So it's just a flash effect or a blink effect for legendary permanents, which is kind of cool. Academy Journey Mage. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control wizard, so it becomes a 4 mana 3/2. It's battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So it's just a bouncing wizard. Maybe as an option for commanders, so that's kind of cool. Knight of Malice, it's a black. They have a white version, now they have the black one. Skipping over to, let's see, so Fungal Infection, 1 mana, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Then you create a 1/1 green Saproling. So fungus and Saprolings are definitely going to be in this set. They're going to be mostly black-green, like they've always been. So they're going to, for the decks that actually run fungus and Saprolings, this set will actually add more to those commander decks for sure. Plus this one's kind of cool as a 1 mana removal, even in like limited or even standard. You kill off like Llanowar Elves and you get a 1/1 in replace of that. Another interesting card is Lich's Mastery. So for 6 mana, so it's hexproof. This has hexproof. Then you can't lose the game. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, for each one life you lost, exile a permanent you control or a card from your hand to or graveyard. And then when this leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So this is when you leave the battle. It makes me wonder if you can actually trick this into being on their side of the field. And if it's hexproof, I don't know. It's a tricky card. I will say someone's going to try abusing it. I'm sure this is going to be a Saffron Olive card off of MTG Goldfish that's going to abuse this card. So stay tuned for that. Rat Colony. 2 mana, 2/1. Rat Colony gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. So this works for other rats as well. It's kind of like Relentless Rats, because it can also have any number of Rat Colony in your deck. Honestly, I don't know. I'm debatable on this. I think if you want a rat deck for Modern or Commander, Relentless Rats is the way to go. Outside of the fact you do still want like Pack Rat and a few other decent rats thrown in, or at least for the commander side of it. Modern, I feel like 4 Pack Rat and then a bunch of Relentless Rats is the way to go. But you could still use a couple of these. So, Kazarov, Sengar Pureblood, 7 mana 4/4. So we're getting some vampires. We're in the original sets where Dominaria was present. There was, the Sengar. So we're getting a new one, but it's also red-black. So this time I think they're going back to the red-black vampires, which I feel like red-black vampires are the best area. The second best are black-blue because of Demir. But, yeah, we'll see how they go. But, you could deal 2 damage target creature for 4 mana. It's not too bad. Definitely an option for a red-black vampire commander. Of course, there are 2 Olivias that'll probably be used more. Dark Bargain, 4 mana. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. And deals 2 damage to you. So it's kind of a 4 mana draw 2 and you lose 2 life. But you also get to choose out of 3 cards which 2 to keep and which to graveyard. It's kind of interesting, and it's an instant too. So it's definitely an interesting card. We got another Saga, but we're going to, like I said, cover it later. Urgoros, the empty one. It's a Spectre. We're getting some Spectres. I wouldn't mind see some actual Spectre deck. So this will be a very good option for a Spectre commander. Empty, except there are some good Spectres that are black-blue and I think black-red. So we would need like a Grixis Spectre to make a really good Spectre deck. Of course, we need some more Spectres. Anyways, does combat damage to player. Player discards card at random. If the player can't, you draw a card. Ooh, that's nice. That is nice. Settle the score. Exile target permanent. Put 2 loyalty counters on a planeswalker you control. So that's definitely going to be a commander option for a Super Friends deck for sure. But we'll see how they go for sure. Demon Lord Belzenlock. It's an Elder Demon. This is kind of a cool, like most of the times we've always had Elder Dragons. Now Dominaria is bringing us Elder Demons. So next they'll probably bring in some Elder Angels. I don't know if they would do it Elder or would they do it? I don't know. Experienced Angel. I don't know. I think it'd probably be Elder. Angels are more female. I don't think Elders usually work. Elder is more male anyways. So they'd have to find a, with a more female-ish because Angels are should be technically female, but, there are some of those male Angels out there. So definitely a good demon commander if you wanted a commander for that. So enters the battlefield, exile cards from top of your library until you exile a non-land card, then put the card into your hand. If the card's converted mana costs 4 or greater, repeat this process. It deals 1 damage to you for each card put into your hand this way. So it's a good way to draw some cards as a demon. 6 mana, 6/6 flying trample. So, yeah. Then we got another fungus card. Enchantment. We got a Drudge Sentinel, 3 mana, 2/1. Pay 3 to make it indestructible. I feel like I will for sure make a video on creature types that need some love. And I will say skeletons, other than rats and what was the other one? Spectres, that's right. Skeletons are definitely one that I would love to see some more love for. They just really throw skeletons in the wayside. It's rare that they print a really good skeleton, because I would like to make a good skeleton commander deck. Just all the skeletons are kind of meh. Makes it not worth it. And then the last one we'll get is Torgar, Feminine Incarnate, or Incarnate. I can't read. My bad. So 8 mana, 7/6. Additional cast a cost spell. You may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less for each to cast for each creature sacrifice. So that's kind of cool, especially if you're running a token mono black deck with some token strategies for commander. Even modern might be an option too. But anyways, when it enters the battlefield, up to 1 target player's life total becomes half of their starting life total, rounded down. So if their opponent's still at 20 life in modern, it goes to 10. That's kind of nice. It's a good way to it becomes half life rounded down. It should just be like, I would have thought it would have been like half, you know. But I think because this card would be used in commanders, I feel like that makes sense to be half of the starting life total. So it's more fair for commander. So, but yeah, that's kind of the black and blue. I have again decided I'm just gonna cover some of the cards like I did here, and then for red, green, because I got red, green, multicolor, and artifacts. Also, I do want to cover this really quick so I don't have to worry about it later. All these are gonna be in Dominaria. We already seen Lawn War Elves in one of the previous videos I did. Add green, and it just says add green, which is kind of a cool effect. We're going to get Verdant Force, Thorn Elemental, Siege Gang Commander, Skizzik, can't even say it right, Icy Manipulator, Juggernaut. We're getting Goblin War Chief. It's kind of cool. I don't think they'll really use it in Modern, but someone could try to make it more expensive costing a Goblin deck with War Chief. Gaia's Blessing, which is kind of a cool card. When you cast it. So, and it's not in Modern, so it'd be a brand new card in Modern. That's always exciting to bring some older cards into Modern. And then reprints of these 5 dual lands. So yeah, that is the blue and black spoilers or leaked cards of Dominaria. Let me know what you guys think of, Dominaria as a whole. And again, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day.